Okay, start doing this question, all of you all. We'll be starting discussion at around 5:10. Okay. Give me a minute, guys. We'll be starting, right? Hi, guys. I actually kept I shared the screenshot the question. I went to pray. By the time I prayed and came, some kiribis had come in. Those monkeys had come in, scribbled on the graphics tab. That's why there was some scribbling signal that. Sorry. Yeah, walaikum salam, all of you. Inshallah, let's see, Ayla. Hello, hello. Ah. No, no, I am not that I'm not well. I was cleaning the whole place and there was a wholesale of dust. Anyways, those who are done, raise your hands up. Who wants to say how many of you are done with the question? I thought that you must be bored and you were scribbling. Pythium. Me, bored, cleaning for it. Yeah. Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. Who are the monkeys? Was it in, I think, it was, I think, like last grade 10 class, two monkeys came. If any of you come from my grade 10 class, you all will know. There were like two twin monkeys who come to my room. That twin monkey is a screen scribble, not now, a while ago. Surya, once we're done with the programming, Surya, I think few more questions. Just very more few, like one arrays part is there. And then once that is done, inshallah, from June, we'll start. Lot of twins in your family. Yeah, my father is also a twin, actually. Ah, that only. Surya, can you just crop me just that question and send me if you don't mind? Like which question you want, please. I find it very cool. What is cool in that? Show them for us. I chase them from the room if they come also. Do you kick them out? Not kick them, I show them off. Are we able to finish the syllabus before all of the exam? I mean, the remaining five lessons in 6 months? Yeah. Before the OLs, I think around October we might finish syllabus. If I'm not wrong. Okay, let's start. Aren't you a twin? I am not a twin, but if you see my brother, people think that we are twins. Anyways, let's start. Okay, so basically, I gave you all to do the 2024 oral paper question. Let's start from here. Yeah. The label flow chart. By the way, is there anyone of y'all who is fasting today? If so, remind me at the Marif time. I might give you all a break. Okay. Yes, Zura. Yeah. Okay. There are some people who are fasting. Ah, is it early? Middle Akif. Yes, Rida. No shift. No. Okay. Just remind me at around 6:20, 6:23 because I might go out of time and I'll give you a small break that time. I'll check Surya. Surya, you mean only that question, right? The pseudocode part, right? Walaikum salam. Not exactly, Zura. Okay, perfect. Let's start. The label flowchart in the figure 1 has been drawn to get the summation of the even numbers from 1 to 20. Okay. Summation of even numbers means addition of even numbers, right? From 1 to 20. So if you take the numbers from 1 to 20, which are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Out of these even numbers, out of these numbers from 1 to 20, they are asking the summation of the even numbers. That means addition of these even numbers. That is 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 plus 14 plus 16 plus 18 plus 20. That's what the program is going to do. Okay. Yes, it is recording in Zoom, Zaina. Sorry, in YouTube, Zaina. So to do this operation, there is a flowchart they have drawn here, and they're asking us to fill in the blanks for A, B, C, D. Let's figure out what A, B, C, D is. Initially, you can see there's a variable called sum, and sum variable is equal to 0. Okay, fine. Then we have a variable called number, and the value of number is equal to 1. Okay, perfect. Within the flowchart, you can see we have here a decision box to check is the number even. And if the number is even or odd, in both the situations, we're going to come, okay. They don't mention what to do. We have to figure out what is yes or what is no. In one of the situation, if the number is even in one of the situation, there's an instruction to be followed. And if the number is even, depending on the result, without what do you call checking any values also, you can follow. Right? Okay, fine. So there is, you know, we have to figure out whether depending on if the number is even or odd, are there any operations we have to do, right? And then you can see we increase the value of number by 1. Okay, fine. So within the loop, we're increasing the value of number by 1. And after we increase the value of number by 1, there is another condition we're going to check. And if this condition's answer is yes, there's another condition we're going to check. If the answer of this condition is yes, we're going to print sum. And if the answer is no, then the repetition is going to happen again. Okay, fine. Now, looking at this idea, you can see there is two variables. One is sum and one is number, right? So at the end of the day, that we have to add all the even numbers, right? So the addition of all these even numbers we need to store somewhere. Out of the two variables given in the question, the variable called sum sounds more suitable because you can see initially sum is 0. Okay. And within the program, there is some calculation happening. And once the program is going to finish, we are printing sum. So that means it kind of makes sense that sum may be the variable that is used to store the addition of all these values. Okay. So we are doing an assumption here. The assumption is that sum should be the variable that is used to add all these values together. Okay. Now, next we have to figure out what is the purpose of number variable. So number variable might be used to go through each value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why you can see initially number is 1. And within the loop, we're increasing the value of number by plus 1. So initially number is 1, it's going to be adding 1 and becoming 2. Then plus 1 is going to become 3. Plus 1 is going to become 4. So the value of number variable is going to increase 1 by 1 within the loop. Right. So you can see there is a condition here to check if the number is even. And as per this program, depending on if the number is even, have they asked us to do something? The number being even, depending on the number being even, has the question told us, okay, if the number is even, do this skill, has the question given any data? Correct. The question has, yes, given a data. So question is saying if the number is even, we have to find the sum of it. So then we can figure out, okay, if number is even, I can say A as yes and B as no. And I'm going to be like, if number is even, you add that number to that sum variable because I said no, sum is a variable that's going to store the addition of even numbers. So that number, I'm going to add it to the sum variable. So I can write this as an equation like this. If I'm going to write this as an equation, I can represent this in equation something like sum is equal to sum plus num. So the meaning of this is add the value of num to the sum variable. That's the meaning of this sentence. Sum equals sum plus num. Up to here, tell me, I will clear on how I figure out A, B, and C. Yes or no? If you have any questions, ask up. The circle between is num plus 1, is that something connect or something? Yeah. Actually, connectors are not used like this. There's different way of how you use connector, but yeah, you can consider this as a connector. Is num and number the same? Sorry. In this question, the variable used was number, so it should be sum equals sum plus number. Correct. Okay, it should be sum equals sum plus number. I didn't get C. Let me explain. Okay. So basically, as per the question, you can see we are at the end of the what's the purpose of the program? The purpose of the program is to find the sum of even numbers. So that means how it's going to work. We first of all have a number. For example, let's say the first number is 1. We are going to check is number 1 even or odd. So this is basically a number, right? We are going to check is this number even or odd. If it's odd, we are going to ignore. There's nothing to do. But if it's even, we should add the sum of it. No. So what we're going to do is if it's odd, we're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore and go for the next instruction. But if it's even, then what we're going to do is we're going to add that number to the sum variable. So initially sum is equal to 0. Initially sum variable will be equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check is this number even? No. Is this number even? Yes. If it is even, I'm going to add that number to the sum variable. So I'll be like the new value of sum is equal to current value of sum plus current value of number. So that means initially sum was 0. No? Yeah. So when you say sum equals sum plus num, it will add that 2 and the value of sum will get updated. Now the value of sum will become 2. Okay. Now the value of sum will become 2. Then you go and check is the next number even? No. Is the next number even? Yes. So when the number is even, we'll add that number to the sum variable. So currently you can see sum is 2. So when you say sum equals sum plus number, we're adding the number for the sum variable. Currently sum is 2. No? We're adding the number to it. So plus 4. So sum is 2. Number is 4. 2 plus 4 is going to become 6. The value of sum is going to change. It's going to become 6. So in sum plus number, what we're doing is we're adding the value of number to that sum variable little by little. Initially sum was 0. Gradually, we're adding all the even numbers one after the other. Does that make sense? Perfect. Will we get marks if we write sum equals sum plus number? No, they might give you only half marks sometimes. They'll be like, this bug has done the question in sleepiness. First time I saw the connector use the flow chart. Exactly. Perfect. Next. Now we have the label D. You can see depending on the label D only we are deciding should we again go and check if the number is even or should we print sum. Now you can see we repeatedly go and check one after the other. We go and check each and every number. Okay. We check until we reach the 20th number, right? Once we are done with the 20th number, once we are done checking if 20 is an even number or not, and then adding in all those stuff, should we go for the next number and check if that is an even number? Should we go for the numbers after 20 and check are they also even numbers? Half mark zero. No. Okay. So what's going to happen here is once we check 20 now, for example, let's the value of 20 is number even. We're going to check is 20 even from here. Okay. From here, we're going to check is 20 even. If it is even, yes, add the number. Once we're done with that, number equals number plus one. Tell me, let's say currently the value of number is 20. Why is my laptop stucking? Let's say currently the value of number is 20 and we're checking if it's even. And if it's even, we're going to add. After you add, when you come for this instruction, tell me, what do you think the new value of number is going to be? After you follow this instruction, what's going to be the new value of number? Perfect. The value of number is going to be, currently it's 20, so 20 plus 1 is going to be 21. The value of number will change, it will become 21. So what we're going to do is, we're going to write a condition here. That condition is going to be such that when the values of number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until 20, when the values of numbers are going until 20, it should give you no. The answer should be no and it should keep on repeating. Once you get 21, it should give you yes. So there are different possible conditions you can write. One condition you can write is number equal to 21. This is one condition. Another condition you can write is number greater than 20. Another condition you can write is number greater than or equal to 21. These are the three possible conditions you can write for the label D. So what happens is if the number is equal to 21 or if the number is greater than 20 or if it's greater than or equal to 21, then we'll stop the repetition and we'll go and print the sum and the program will end. Is that clear all of you? Is number less than 21? If it's less than 21, for example, let's the value of number is 1. The first time we're running the program, value of number is 1. We check if number is 1. If 1 is even, no. And we say number equals number plus 1. The value of number becomes 2. When the value of number is 2, when you come and check the condition, is number less than 21, it's going to give you yes, and it's going to print sum. So if you use the condition is number less than 21, output will be definitely 0. Because only once the program is checked. Does that make sense? No idea. My laptop is not in Sakarat. The reason it is stacking is because there are multiple apps going in the background. Shall I show you a sneak peek of my browser? Like, can you see the background running applications? In the behind, there's a different browser. In that browser, how many tabs are running? Can you see? Yeah. So that is one of the reason why. And there's an AI model also running in the background. So there's a local AI running. So it's using my VGA. And it has been, I think, almost 1 week since I off my laptop, I guess. Is it correct to put is num greater than 20? Yeah. See, I gave you three options. Option 1, option 2, option 3. Either one of these are correct, Zura. Akhil, by the way, did you understand why the less than 21 is wrong? I have once made it stuck with the. I wrote is number odd. If you write is number odd, then for example, only the first number is going to get added, Rushta. Like for example, we'll add the after we'll check if number now. For example, the program start, the value of number is going to be one. Okay. Then for example, when value of number is one, you're going to come and check is number even. Answer is going to be no. So we'll go for the next instruction. Number equals number plus one. Value of number is going to be two now. When the value of number is two, you're going to come and check is number odd. Answer is no. We're going to again repeat. Now the value of number is going to be is number even? Yes. Add the number. After you add the number, now value of number is going to be number plus one. It's going to be three. Now when you come and check is number odd, it's going to give you answer yes, no? Value, let's say value of number is now three. This program gave the answer is three. Okay. If this condition gave the number as three, when you come and check if the number is number odd, answer will be yes, right? Isn't it, Krishna? So you got it why that is wrong. The lab is requiring to have honor like you. Nah. Is it okay if you don't shut down the laptop for so long? It's bad. I mean, if you're doing it, then you have to make sure that you close the browsers and open because the browsers are the main people who will drink your laptop. So if you close the browsers and open, it won't be a problem, but I'm lazy. I wrote number equals 20. Number equals 20 is wrong. Then you will not be checking the number. Now, for example, if you say number equals 20, what happens is let's say the value of number is 19. Okay, let's say value of number is 19. So you're going to go and check is number 19 even, right? After you check is number 19 even from here, it is going to give you no. After it gives you no, you're going to come and say number equals number plus one. It's going to become true, right? And you're going to print sum. Now, before you printed sum, did you check is 20 even? Before you printed sum, did you check if 20 is even? No. So that's why is number equal 20 is wrong. Got it, Amina? Hmm. Can you write is number greater than or equal to 20? No. That's it. I said you can't write equal 20. If you are equal to 20, that means we're not checking the number 20, which I just explained. Kids, yeah. Can we just mention his number even when we are writing flowcharts? Like, doesn't it have to be modern stuff? It has to be. This is just for demo. I mean, they're this basic program they are given here. But if they ask you to write a program, you can't write like this. You use mod. Long time back, Zora. I think the beginning of this year. Not exactly, but kind of yes. Zora. Exactly. Okay. Okay. Basically, what happens there if you put less than 20 is, okay, listen. Let's say the value of number is 1. Okay. When the value of number is 1 here, you're going to go and check is number 1 even? No. When you go and check is number 1 even, answer is going to be no. And you're going to come to this instruction. So when you come for this instruction, here we're going to say number equals number plus 1 and the value of number is going to be 2. Up to there is clear what happened, Akin? We came here, number is 2. Fine. Now, if you had written the condition as is number less than 21, its value of number is now 2. If you go and check is 2 less than 21, what is the answer? Yes or no? If I ask you is 2 less than 21, is the answer yes or no? Yes. So the answer is yes, we are directly printing sum. And at the moment, if you see what is the value of sum was 0. So your program is going to give the output 0. Your program is not going to check is 2 even, is 3 even, is 4 even. Your program checked only is 1 even. Make sense? Your program did not check the other ones. That's why it's wrong. Perfect. Correct, Zura. That's not good, Rishta. Okay, put 1 mark each and tell me out of 4 marks, how many marks you all got for this question all of you? For B, answer is no. For A, answer is yes. For C, answer is sum equals sum plus number. And for D, you can mention either one of these answers. So let me know out of 4 marks, how many marks I got out of here. Good. I think I answered all the questions. If there was anything, just let me know in the chat. Huh? No, in exam, you will not get 4 marks. This in exam, probably this will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 marks, 5 marks, 6 marks, 7 marks. It, in exam, this will be a 2 marks question, like half marks each time I give you, I think, averagely. Okay, next. Consider the following pseudocode in figure 2 to answer A and B. Okay. Counter equals 1, while counter is less than or equal to 5, display counter, counter equals counter plus 1, blah, blah, blah. What are the write the expected output from the pseudocode? Okay. I have thought all this. You mean the Roman number 2 or Roman number 1, Rida? Let's see. So the first question they're asking, write the output of the pseudocode. Okay. Now, whenever you get questions asking write the output of the pseudocode, always have the habit of drawing this so-called dry run. Okay. To draw the dry run, first of all, you have to figure out what are the variables used in this program. So all of you will go through the program and first of all tell me what are the variable names you all can notice here. In this program, what are the variable names you all can notice? Perfect. There is only one variable which we can notice here. That is counter variable. So once you have drawn one column each, for every variable, draw one column each. Huh? For every variable name, draw one column each. And once you're done drawing the variable names column, next you draw a column for the condition. So in this program, there's only one condition, and that one condition is counter less than or equal to 5. Okay, so for this condition, I'm going to have another column like this. Is counter less than or equal to 5. So keep in mind, one column each for every variables, one column each for every condition. And then draw the final column to include all the outputs. Now we start filling the dry run by going through all the instructions step by step. The first instruction is counter equals 1. I'm going to come and record here counter is 1. Next we have while count is less than or equal to 5. Is the value of counter less than or equal to 5? Yes. So true. Okay, we're going to check is the value of counter less than or equal to 5. It's true. In while loop, tell me if this condition is true, do we continue? Or if the condition is false, do we continue? How does while loop work? In while loop, we follow the instructions inside when the condition is true or false. Perfect. When it is true. I ask her, remember the World Trade Center. While true, continue. Okay, so it's true, you continue. And then you again come and check. That's how it works. So first instruction we have is display counter. The value of counter is 1. So 1 is going to get displayed. Then we have the instruction counter equals counter plus 1. I always have told you all in an equation, we are finding the value for the left hand side. Okay. So we're going to find what is the value of counter. So they're saying counter is equal to counter plus 1. You can fill in the right side values by looking at the table. We look at the table, counter is 1. So I'm going to say 1 plus 1. And if I solve this equation, I'll get the new value of count as 2. So I'm going to go and update here. I'm going to say the value of count has changed. Now the value of count is becoming 2. Right? The next instruction end while. In a while loop, when you reach the end while, you're again going and check the condition. Yes or no? When you again check the condition, is counter less than or equal to 5? Counter is 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 5? Yes, true. Then display counter. Counter is 2, so 2 is going to get displayed. Then we have the instruction counter equals counter plus 1. Again, same like I told you earlier. New value is equal to current value plus 1. Current value is 2. So 2 plus 1 becomes 3. No, Amina. When you reach end while, you again go and check the condition. Is counter less than or equal to 5? Counter is 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 5? Yes, true. Display counter. So 3 gets displayed. Counter equals counter plus 1. Counter is going to become 4. When you reach end while, you again check the condition. Is 4 less than or equal to 5? Yes, true. Display counter will display 4. Counter equals counter plus 1. Again, new value is equal to current value plus 1. Current value of counter is 4. So 4 plus 1 is 5. The new value is 5. Then you again come and check after each end while you again come and check the condition is counter less than or equal to 4. So is less than or equal to 5. That's going to be true. Display counter 5 gets displayed. Counter equals counter plus 1. Counter becomes 6. When you reach end while you again go and check the condition is counter less than or equal to 5. Tell me now when I go and check the condition, what will be the result of the condition? True or false? I mean, that's not needed, that extra column. Because for every unique variable, we have one column. Not for every instruction, one column. Every unique variable, one column. So here also we are giving the value for counter. Here also we are giving the value for counter. So we don't need two different columns. One column is enough. Perfect. Now if you go and check is counter less than or equal to 5, that's going to give you false. So while loop, when you get false, we stop and we go for the instruction after end while. After end while we have end, so program is completed. So they're asking what is the expected output? The expected output is 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. 1 to 5 is the expected output. Okay. So if you had wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again, comma is not important. As long as you mention the part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get 1 mark, 2 marks there. No, actually put 1 mark. Sorry, put 1 mark there. Akhil, if possible, watch one of the previous first few weeks recording. Next, what would be the output if the statement while count is less than or equal to 5 do is replaced with while count is less than or equal to 20 do, and the statement while count equals counter plus 1 is replaced with count equals counter plus 3. Okay, first thing. Now you can see when the counter is less than or equal to 5, we display it from 1 to 5, right? If it was counter is less than or equal to 20, then we'll display from how much to how much? Because counter was less than or equal to 5, we displayed 1 to 5. If it was while count is less than or equal to 20, then how much to how much will we be displaying? Like that's a practical difference you can see, right? What do you think will happen? Correct. From 1 to 20. Exactly. From numbers from 1 to 20 will get displayed. Okay. Similarly, if it's less than or equal to 10, if you have the condition as is counter less than or equal to 10, what do you think the output would be? Exactly. If it's less than or equal to 10, then the output will be from 1 to 10. Okay. Because that's how the pattern of the program works. How the program is working is you can see that condition is what is making us stop. 5 Ira. Okay. So what do you call if you look at the program, you can notice here the condition is what is controlling the number of times we are repeating. Okay. And if this condition was less than or equal to 5, only we stop with 5, the output. But imagine the condition was less than or equal to, let's say, 20, then the values of what you call counter. So value of output will go up to 20. If it was less than or equal to 10, then the outputs will be from 1 to 10. That's how the pattern works. Okay. First, you'll have that clarity. Now, second part they have mentioned here is if count equals counter plus 1 is replaced with count equals counter plus 3. Okay, now this is where the fun thing is. If you replace count equals counter 1 plus 1 with count equals count plus 3, then first of all tell me when the program started, first of all tell me what was the value of counter? When the program started, what was the value of counter? Correct. When the program started, the value of counter was 1. Now currently you can notice in the current program we have counter equals counter plus 1. And because we had counter equals counter plus 1 only, the values of counter you can see kept on increasing by 1. See, plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. It kept on increasing by 1. Now tell me, if we have plus 3 after 1, what is the next number would be? For this value of counter, if you had 3, what will the next value be? Perfect. It will become 4. For this number 4, if you add 3, what will be the next number? Perfect. It will become 7. For 7, if you add 3, what will be the next number? Perfect. It will become 10. For 10, if you add plus 3, what will be the next number? Correct. It will become 13. For 13, if you add plus 3, what will be the next number? Exactly. It's going to become 16. For 16, if you add plus 3, what's going to be the next number? 19. For 19, if you add plus 3, what's going to be the next number? 22. But if you look at the condition, the question said we're going to change the counter to counter plus 3. And the condition is going to be while counter is less than or equal to 20. So that means only if the value of counter is less than or equal to 20, we're going to display the counter. So you can say only if the counter is less than or equal to 20, we're going to display counter. Okay. So that means in that situation, tell me, will we be displaying 22? Yes or no? No. Will we be displaying 19? Yes. Because if you take the values of counter starts from 1, correct? It adds plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. We're going to display only the values. See, display comes only when the value of count is less than or equal to, as per the question, less than or equal to 20. Okay. So is 16 less than or equal to 20? Yes. Is 19 less than or equal to 20? Yes. Is 22 less than or equal to 20? No. So the outputs will be 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 19, up to 19. These are the outputs that we are going to get in this question. Is that clear of you? So these are answer for the question B. So if you have any questions, drop in the chat. I drew dry run for this question also. Is it okay? Yeah, drawing the dry run is completely fine. But for these kind of questions, without drawing the dry run also, you can just do it roughly like how I did here. You just see, okay, when you change from this to this, what happens? When you change from this to this, initially we are displaying from 1 to 5. That will get changed to displaying from 1 to 20. That's the change happening there. Then when you convert when you what you call went from 1 to plus 1 to plus 3, values of counter increased by 3 and became 1, 4, 7, 10. So that's how we figure it out. Okay, if you all got this range, I mean, if this order 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, if you all got that order, put 1 mark there. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. We will get marks only if we draw the dry run. Dry run is not there in the syllabus for information. So if you ask me, will you get marks for dry run? No. If you know, for example, let's say in this question, you drew the dry run, but you did not write the answer like this, then you will not get the marks. It depends on the person who's marking the paper, but you will not get the marks. Dry run is used to make your work easy because practically, if you're going to process all these stuffs in your head, it's difficult. So what we do is we draw the dry run to make our work easy. Okay. So after you find the answer from the dry run, you have to make sure you write it like this. That time you will not get the marks. Again, depends on who's marking your paper. So always make sure you draw the dry run as well. After you draw the dry run, write down the answers like this as well. Is only 19 enough? No. Output is not only 19. You can see here output was what? In the previous program, output was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Output was increasing. All these were outputs. We had 5 outputs. So similarly, here also we have multiple outputs. The thing differs. So you have to have all these numbers 1, 4, 7, 10. You have all these numbers. That's how you will get the marks. Got it? So only 19 is not enough. Next. What would happen if the counter equals counter plus 1 in the line in the pseudocode of figure 2 is removed? Okay. Tell me, if I remove this line called counter equals counter plus 1, then will the value of counter increase like how I increased it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Will the value of counter increase? No. So if the value of counter does not increase, that means always after I display counter, when I go to end while, when I again go and check is counter less than or equal to 5, what is the value of counter I'm checking? What is the value I'm checking? Is it less than 5? Exactly. Value of counter is always 1. Okay, value of counter is 1. Always we're going to come and check is 1 less than 5, is 1 less than 5, is 1 less than 5. The value of counter doesn't change. Okay. Now, if this condition does not become false, if this condition is always true, if this condition, let's say always true, we're always coming and checking, go out. This value of counter is what you call 1. And if you always come and check is 1 less than 5 is 1 less than what? Okay, let's say always you're going to check is 1 less than 5 is 1 less than 5 is 1 less than 5. The output will be always be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And will there be end in this program? Yes, Ira. Yeah, but I've explained how as if now that's why I changed it. Again, coming back to the question. So the value of counter doesn't change. Always you're going to come and check is 1 less than 20, is 1 less than, sorry, is 1 less than 5, is 1 less than 5, is 1 less than 5. So we're going to check, we're going to output 1 and again check is 1 less than 5. Output 1 is 1 less than 5. So these two instructions keep on repeating. And will the program come to an end? Will the program end? Will there be a stop for this program? If the value of counter doesn't change, will there be a stop for this program? No, it'll keep on repeating without an end. So you have to mention here what would happen if the counter equals counter plus 1 is removed. When it's removed, you can mention the value of counter will not change. The value of counter will not change and repeatedly only one will be displayed and the program will never end. Now, this is how you write a proper answer. In this proper answer, you're saying by that number, what are the problems we face? Because of that instruction removed, the counter will not change. Because counter not changing, repeatedly one will be displayed and the program will not end. You have to mention these are three key points you have to mention. Okay. I know some of you wouldn't have mentioned it. It's fine. Some of you must have mentioned the program will be because 3 plus 1 is. I didn't get your question. So, yeah. So the initial number should be 4, right? No. Count is equal 1, no. So when count is 1, you're going to come and check is counter less than 20 and display counter. So initially 1 is going to get displayed. After that, you have counter equals counter plus 3 and it will become 4. And you're going to come and check is 4 less than 20 and display 4. Because not only 4 is going to get displayed. Okay. So come back to the point. So keep in your mind, these are complete answer. In the complete answer, you're saying all the problems. What are all the problems? Counter is not changing. 1 will get repeatedly displayed. And second, the program will never end. Okay. If you all had mentioned all these 3 points, for each point mention 1 marks. Now, if I had mentioned program will never end, the loop will be, what do you call, there'll be an infinite loop. So those are only 1 mark. Huh? Again, that's not how the exam marks give. In exam, they'll give marks for either one of these three most probably. They not expect you all to have all three. In the exam, they'll expect mainly this part, that the program will never end. Okay, the answer mostly they'll expect in the exam, or else repeatedly only one will be displayed. So that's the part the program will, the questions the exam will expect. But keep in mind if they give a question like this to write a complete answer like this. Should we mention that one will be displayed? Yeah, you have to mention that one will get displayed again and again. I'm saying this is how a complete answer would be. A proper complete answer. You look like you gave him a death stare. Actually, I gave him a death stare only. Why so long? That's how you be precise in your answer. Always keep in mind when questions are easy, marking schemes are hard. So I can make the question very easy and I can mess up with a small marking. I can make sure that now, for example, the first question you can see, first question is very easy. But let's say without mentioning sum equals sum plus number, let's say you mention sum equals sum plus num, you're losing marks. So question can be, when the questions are easy, purposely they make the marking scheme hard. So you have to make sure that your answer is precise. Don't give reasons for examiner to cut your marks. I mentioned only outcome will be one always and program doesn't end. Then you get 2 marks because you have covered 2 points. Put 2 marks. It always depends on the circumstance, Vira. Yeah, but today that will not happen in the first round. Second round will become 4. Totally, how many marks for C? 3 marks, as per my marking scheme. See, I put the answer is error. There is no error in this program. The program will run without any issues. You will not be getting error. There is no errors. It's just that the program will again and again and again keep on repeating. Nah, no Zira. I don't think so. No marks, Sushta. You looked scary actually when you did that. Y'all are the online people only have seen the good version of me. When you ask the physical fellows, what type of a, what do you call lion I am in the class? Always roaring. Can the answer be the value of counter will remain in number one and will be looped repeatedly? Then you get 2 marks because you're saying the value of number is one. You're saying the value of counter will remain in number one. So you're saying value of counter will not change. You're covering this part. And you're saying it will be repeated. So you're covering only 2 things. You're not saying that one is getting displayed again and again. So you get only 2 marks for your answer. Yes. Yes, Akif. Yes, there are. I not exactly. I use a different voice as well, Rida. Not exactly, Haran. Is that Oshit? Okay. Tell me for the quiz, Roman number two, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 5 marks, you have put your marks. How many marks would I have got for this Roman number two? If you have any questions, drop the chat. Huh? Others out of 3, 4, 5 marks, how many marks you got? Yeah, you can come watch. There's no issues. Those and all, Prashna Kwende. I lost 3 marks because I put it right. That's fine. Shape, shape, shape. Okay, perfect. Nah, just out. Zero, that's the actual 100% true reason. Like that's like the exact reason. Yes, Rida. Okay, all of you start doing the Roman number two. I'll give you like 5 minutes for this. It's on the timer. By the way, those who did not fast today, at least have a plan of fasting tomorrow. Because It's actually beneficial. I guess so, Zura. Yes, yes, I am, Zura. Yes, Chef. Now, we did Roman number two. I didn't ask to do the Roman number two. Did I ask? Inshallah, I don't think I asked to the Roman number two. Oh, I am. I'll put all of your hands down. So once you're done this question, raise your hands up. Huh? Yes. Roman number three on page 22. You're done with this question, raise your hands, Zoom, all of you. Because it'll confirm Zula, that's why. That's the reason. And that's the first reason. Second reason is that philosophical. Elephant. Who can walk and crawl? Okay, binos can walk actually, but nothing, nothing. I didn't say anything. Okay, your time is up. Let's check your answer. A chocolate vending machine receives coins from a customer, and if it receives enough coins for the price of a chocolate of which is 50, it will dispense the chocolate to the customer. Okay. Um, so we are giving coins. We are getting coins. And if we receive enough of coins, which is if we receive 50 coins, we dispense the chocolate. Okay, fine. The Kanzura, not as active as freelancers. The machine keeps on, because there is a 2, 3 years age gap. The machine keeps on collecting coins from a customer until the total value of the insert coins is greater than or equal to the price of chocolate. Okay, so we have to keep on collecting coins until the coin insert coins is greater than or equal to the price of chocolate. If the total value of the insert coin is greater than the price of a chocolate, then the balance coin should be also dispensed. Okay, fine. If the total value of the insert coins is exactly equal to the price of the chocolate only, then chocolate will be given. Assume that the customer inserts the coin to completion without canceling the process midway. Okay, fine. A pseudocode written for the operation for the above machine is given in figure 3. Write down the suitable replacements for the blanks A to F in it. Okay. So there's a variable called price. We have to figure out the value of price. I feel you, Era. And then there's something called total. Okay, fine. If total is less than price, yeah, if the total is less than price, we're asked to insert the coin and we had to read the coin value. We will get the value of the coin and total something is getting added to that. Okay, fine. It keeps on repeating. Okay. Then we output chocolate. If total is greater than something, the balance has to be calculated. Okay, fine. Makes sense. Now, looking at this program, you can see there's a variable called total, there's a variable called price, and there's a variable called coin value. Okay. Now, coin value is anyways a user input. No, we're asking the user to enter the value of user insert the coin. No. So for now, I'll ignore this variable. Out of price and total, we can, based on the given scenario and the given program, it looks like the price variable is used to store the price of the chocolate. Okay. So what is the price of the chocolate as per the scenario? Correct. The price of the chocolate is going to be 50. So I'm going to mention a price 50. Now you can see this is where we're asking the user to give a coin. Okay. And then you can see there's something called something is equal total plus D. So it looks as if the coin's value is added to the total variable. Okay. So coin's value is added to the total variable. So what happens is initially what you call the total should be empty. The total is initially empty only. We can little by little insert one coin and add that value. Okay. To show that total is empty, that means total is nothing. What do you think the value of total has to be initially? Correct. To show that total doesn't have any value, we say total equals 0. Then when the user gives a coin, we're going to add that value to the total variable. For C, we can say total. For D also we can say, for D we can say coin value. So what we're doing here is we're adding the value of the coin to the total. So initially total is 0. So let's say user enters 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15, 20, I mean 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 2 rupees, 1 rupee, 5 rupee kilo. He keeps on entering one coin. So whenever one coins are enter inside, that value has to be added to total. So we're going to go and check is total less than price, is total less than price, if total is less than price. Okay. When the total is less than price, we again and again ask the user to enter some more coins, enter some more coins, enter some more coins. So once the value of total is not less than price, the value of total and value of price, when you compare, the total is not less than price. Now we go and display chocolate. So when will total not be less than price? Total will not less than price when either total is equal to price. If both of them are equal, then this will be false. Or else if total is greater. So these are the two situations when that will give you false. Okay. So if total is less than price, we'll be like, okay, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough money. We'll ask them to again and again enter money. So once they've entered the money equal to the price of chocolate, or if they are given money more than the price of chocolate, then we are going to give them a chocolate. Up to here, tell me, do you understand what happened? Tell me, I will clear with A, B, C, and D. Yes or no? Is it wrong if I mention price for D? No, no. In D, we are little by little we are adding the price, little by little we are adding the amount of value money we got. So where we stored the money we got, the amount of money we got is there in the coin value variable. So mentioning price there is wrong. Price is wrong. How can price come there? I mean, like what is the justification? Why did you write price there? I put price amount. What do you mean amount? What amount? What is amount? What do you mean by amount? There is no variable called amount here. In C, I put price. Why do you want to change the value of price? Is the value of chocolate changing? No. So that we can take the total at once. What do you mean by total is that we are finding the amount of total value received. Total variable is holding the total amount of money received. So how do you find the total amount of money received? Whenever you get one coins, you're adding that amount of money you have received. Price is not the amount we have received. No, that's the target value. I have time now. Wait, Ira. Once we're done with this question, I'll do that. Okay. Is E price? Wait, I'll tell you. So what happens is once we have reached what do you call once the total amount, that means the amount of coins we have got from the user, once we have got enough of coins, either we have got the amount of coins equal to the price of chocolate, or if we have got the total amount of price greater than the price of chocolate, the while loop will stop and we are going to give a chocolate. Now, after that, the questioner said we have to calculate the balance as well. So we are going to calculate the balance only if he has paid more. No? So if total is greater than price, that means the total amount of money received. The total amount of money received is if it's greater than price, then the balance is equal to total minus price. Okay, that's the balance. Now we now put the balance. So this is how the program is going to look like. Put 1 mark each and tell me how many marks you have got here, all of you. And those who have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 6 marks, how many marks I got? Was there any questions? Drop in chat. If I put prepaid amount, what do you mean by prepaid amount? For what are you going to put prepaid amount? For F? What do you mean by prepaid amount? So you have to define that word. When you say prepaid amount, that word called prepaid amount has to be defined. So what is prepaid amount? So you have to define that. That should be a variable, has to be calculated. A variable can get values from two places. A variable can get a value from either an equation or else a variable can get a value from an input statement. So where have you showed the value of prepaid amount? If you're saying, okay, reduce prepaid amount, then what is prepaid amount? How much is prepaid amount? That has to be defined somewhere, no? Can we put 50 for F? No. You have to make sure that your program is working in all situations. Now, for example, if the price of chocolate change, then your program will have an error. So therefore, putting 50 is not suitable. Putting 50, your program will work correctly, but then you're not following, there is no purpose of using variables in your program. So as per your program, then there is no purpose of using variables. So therefore, it is not suitable. For E and F can't be mentioned as 50. Nahi. If you're using 50 there, then there is no purpose of using the price variable. No. The purpose of using price variable is because you can see this price is used in multiple places. The price of the chocolate is mentioned here, then here, and here. Okay. When the same data is used in multiple places, you can see now here we are using in 3 places. In the real program, the same value can be used in 100 places. So let's say they came and told that we are changing the price of chocolate. You can't be going and changing in multiple places. The purpose of variable, one of the main reasons we use variables is so that the value can be reused. So if you're coming and change the price of chocolate, you just come and change it here only. One shot. So if you go and mention 50 here and 50 here and 50 here, then there is no purpose of recording the price here. So your program is inefficient. So that's not a good program. So therefore, you will not get the marks. But why did you minus price? Then how do you find the balance? The price of a chocolate is 50 rupees. I have given a total of 100 rupees. Or I have given a total of, yeah, 100 rupees. How much is the balance? How do you find the balance? Balance is equal to total amount of money given minus price of chocolate, right? So total variable has a total amount of money given. Price variable has the price of the item we want. So total minus price. That's how we find the balance. Make sense? For A, just put 50 or rupees 50, just 50. If you mention rupees 50, cut the word called RS and give marks. For E, can't you put just 50? No, can't. No marks. Okay, so if you have just put just 50, no marks. Huh? You mean for D? Say for Rahman. Yes. Okay, without putting coin value, then what else do you think you have to put there? Basically, what's happening there is we're going to find the total amount the user gave us. So let's say you're a cashier. The cashier, you want to find the total amount of money you have got. How will you find the total amount of money you got? Every coin the user gives, you add it, right? For example, let's say the user is going to give 5 rupee, 5 rupee, 5 rupee, 5 rupee, 2 rupee, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 1 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupee. He's going to give multiple coins. So once you get multiple coins, little by little, you're going to add that coins. So initially your total was 0. You took a 5 rupee, now you'll be like, now 5 is a total. You took a 10 rupee, now you'll be like 15 is a total. You took a 5 rupee, another 5 rupee, now you'll be like 20 is the total. So you're going to find the total by adding each and every coin the user gives. Make sense? So total is a variable holding the amount of money we have received. Ah, yes, Noela. Okay, those who have any questions, can let me know. I'll give you a small break for breaking fast. People are going to fast in 3 more minutes. We have the breaking fast. So at around 6:30, I'll continue back. Okay, is 7 minutes enough for the break fast and come? Enough, right? Those are fasting. Okay, then 6:35. Let them feast. Excuse me, I'm also fasting for information. And I don't have any, even all these days I was doing class, just 2, 3 minutes and I will break fast. Halas. I'm giving you 7 minutes. You can pray after class. Yeah, so at around 6:30, 6:30, we'll be starting up. Small break. Enjoy. That is too much, Inoli. Not exactly, Hara, because I'm used to it. Can't eat a samosa, I guess. So what? Stuff. Simple. What about 45? No, I did 6:30 or 6:35. 45 is too much. Okay, so those who are staying, I'll share all the question. which we will be starting at 6:35. So those who are going to pray or can come at 6:35, 6:30, 6:35, and you can start doing this question. I'll start discussing this question at around 6:40, 40 or 45. Yeah, at around 6:45 again. I'll start discussing this. So once you're back, as soon as you're back, make sure you're back by 6:30, 6:35. Then only you can get enough of time. I will start to discuss at 6:45. Others you can start doing now itself. Who are not fasting. Oh, 6:40 is not enough. I need 6:45. 6:40. I don't think 50 minutes is enough for me to discuss this. Let's see. Azan is going on. Oh, is it? The reason I asked for remind me itself because I can't hear. It's like complete noise proof. I'll go and break fast and come then. Those who are done with this question, you can raise your hands up. I'll be back. Yeah, bye. Those who are done with this question, raise your hands up. Huh? I hope the people who went to breakfast are back. Those who are done, raise your hand in Zoom. You will have 1 more minute remaining, and only one of you have done this question. Others, if there's anyone of you who are done, raise your hands up. I can see one hand up. Okay, around 8 people are done. I always shout in class, oh. Okay, your time is up. Is there anyone who is still doing the question and you want a couple of small time? Okay, I'll start the discussion. What 10 of you are done? Focus all of you. Okay, let's start all of you. So in this question, they are given you a flow chart and there's a variable called sum. Count is count less than 5. Yes. If count is less than 5, asking to enter a number. Count equals counter plus num 1. If n mod 2 equals 0. If a number is even. Okay, understood the program. Write on the output of the flow chart if 5, 8, 13, 20, and 2 are to be entered for n. Okay. First of all, let's go through the program by drawing the right down below. Look at this question and tell me, in this program, what are the variable names you all can notice? Go through this program and tell me what are the variable names you all can notice. Again, variable names can be found in two places, in equations and input statements. Correct. There are three variables. One is a sum variable. One is the count variable. And one is a n variable. Apart from that, after drawing one column each for every input statement, for every condition you draw one column as well. So count is one condition. So is count less than 5 is one condition. Then is n mod 2 equals 0 is another condition. For every condition I draw one column and one common column to include all the outputs. So first of all, I drew the columns in a dry run. The columns are one column each for every variables, one column each for every condition, and one common column to include all the outputs. Now I'll start filling the dry run by going through the program from top to bottom. The first instruction is sum equals 0, count equals 0. I'll mention that first. Then we have is count less than 5. Is 0 less than 5? Yes. You don't mention equations, Anna. Only variable names and conditions. So there are three variables and two conditions. So one column each for every variable, every unique variable. One column each for every unique condition. And one common column to include all the outputs. That's how we draw. So is count less than 5? Yes. So we're going to go in the down direction. Enter n. So we're asking to enter number. So the question said to enter the first number is 5. So I'll take n as 5. Then we are saying count equals count plus 1. So the new value of count is going to be 0 plus 1. That's going to become 1. Then we have if n mod 2 equals 0. That means when you divide n by 2, is the remainder equal to 0. So for example, the value of n is at the moment 5 now. So if you divide 5 by 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 remains. Okay. So so the mod operator will return the remainder. To obtain the remainder only, we use the mod operator. Okay, you can do a division and obtain the remainder using the mod operator. So here you can see if n mod 2 is equal to 0, when you divide 5 by 2, is the answer equal to 0? No. Answer is no. So because it's no, I'm going to go in the right side direction and follow here. Here again, we're coming and checking is count less than 5. Currently, how much is count? Count is 1. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. Then enter n. We're asking you to enter number. The second number the question asked to use was 8. So I'll take 8 here. Now again, we're saying count equals count plus 1. Tell me, now when I follow this instruction count equals count plus 1, what's going to be the new value of count? If I follow the instruction count equals count plus 1 now, what is going to be the new value of count? Perfect. Currently count is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then I'm going to check if n mod 2 equals 0. Currently n is 8. 8 mod 2 means you're going to divide 8 by 2 and see the remainder is 0. To take 8, divide by 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 0 remains. Yes. Is the remainder 0? Answer is yes. So because the answer is yes, we are going to say sum equals sum plus n. Tell me, after I follow this instruction, what do you think the new value of sum is going to be? If you look at the table, you can see currently sum is 0, right? So after I follow that instruction, what do you think the new value of sum is going to be? Always is in left hand side, we have new value. Right side hand side, we have current value. So new value of sum is equal to current value of sum plus current value of n. Current value of sum is 0. Current value of n is 8. 0 plus 8 is going to be 8. Perfect. So the new value of sum is going to be 8. Then you follow the instruction towards the left hand side and go up. Is count less than 5? Is 2 less than 5? Yes. Enter n. The question said the third number is 13. Count equals count plus 1. Count is going to become 3. If n mod 2 equals 0, 13 is n. So 13 divided by 2, 2 times 6 is 12, 1 remain. So is remainder equal to 0? And again go up. Is count less than 5? Currently count is 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. Enter n. The next number to enter is 20. Count equals count plus 1. Count is now 4. If n mod 2 equals 0, if you divide 20 by 2, 2 times 10 is 20, 0 remains. Is the answer 0? Yes. If it's yes, sum equals sum plus n. So currently sum is 8. Sum plus n means 8 plus 20. That's going to be 28. Then you again follow the lines and go. Is count less than 5? Currently count is 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. And because 4 is less than 5, enter n. So we ask you to enter 2. Count equals count plus 1. Count is going to become 5. If n mod 2 equals 0, if you divide 2 by 2, 2 times 1 is 2, 0 remains. So answer is yes. So because yes, you're going to come down, sum equals sum plus n. Sum is 20, n is 2, 28 plus 2 is 30. You go up again. Is count less than 5? Is 5 less than 5? Answer is no. So because answer is no, you're going to print sum. What is the value of sum? Sum is 30, so output becomes 30. And then the program ends. Okay. So question is asking, what is the output of the above flow chart? If these are entered for n, output is going to be 30. If you mention 30, write 30 there. If you mention 30, mark it correct. Put 1 mark. 2 marks there. No, put 1 mark. Put 1 mark. I'm going to give my own markings. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Next, what is the purpose of this flow chart? Okay. In this flow chart, at the end of the day, we are displaying a number. Okay, we are outputting number. Right? We are outputting number. In this program, if you see, we are outputting the value of the variable sum. Right? What is the variable sum holding? Variable sum is holding some addition of values. Did variable called sum, did it add all the values we entered? Look at the program nicely. Did it add all the values we entered? No. It added only selected values, right? Yes, Zura. It added only a selected values. So if it added only a selected values, nicely look at the program and tell me what kind of values did we add? We actually added the 8, we added the 20, we added the 2. But we did not add the 5, we did not add the 13. So what type of values have we added? Correct. Using if n mod 2 equals 0, we are checking if a number is even. Okay, because only if the number is even, then divide by 2, the remainder is 0, right? So you can see only the even numbers are added. Only the even numbers are added. So here, the answer, where they're asking the purpose of the program, you have to mention the purpose of this flowchart is to get the sum of even numbers to get the sum of even numbers out of five values out of five numbers the user enters. Out of five numbers the user enters. You can rephrase this in any way, okay? You can also mention like to get five random numbers from the user and find the sum of the even numbers out of them. You can mention like that also. Okay, to get five random numbers from the user and find the even numbers, sum of even numbers. So if you have mentioned the part of getting five numbers from the user, for that you get 1 mark. For mentioning part of finding the sum of even numbers, you get 1 mark. Total 2 marks there. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Till I said Walaikum Salam Faza. Zura. What about to find the sum of an even number? Not of an even number. Sum of out of how many even numbers? We're exactly getting only five numbers from the user. So it'll be like sum of five even numbers entered by the user. So you're going to get only half marks for this question. Sometimes they will not even give marks for that half answer, but sometimes they might give half marks. But better write like this precise answer. What is the input? What is the output? Both should be there in the pro question. Your point. The purpose is to calculate and display sum of five even numbers entered by the user, not five even numbers. Sum of even numbers out of five random numbers entered by the user, because the user did not enter five even numbers. If the user wanted, user can enter all five as odd also. He can enter two even, two odd even. So it's his decision. So out of five random numbers, we're going to get the sum of even numbers. So Fatima, when you answer, cut that word called five from there and mention a sum of even numbers out of five numbers entered by the user. Out of five random numbers entered by the user. Modify your answer into such that out of five random numbers entered by the user. 10 mark, Zura. If you have any other questions, drop in the chat. Others put the marks. Next. Write down the pseudocode relevant for the following flowchart. The pseudocode will look something like this. Begin. Sum equals 0, count equals 0. Look at that first repetition structure and tell me, is the first, sorry, look at the first condition and tell me, is this condition relevant to a, what do you call it? Is this condition something relevant to a repetition structure or selection structure? If you look at this first decision box we have here, is this a repetition structure or selection structure? Perfect. You can see depending on that condition, again and again it's repeating. So just condition is a repetition structure. Last week I told, I mean, 2, 3 weeks back, I told you how to differentiate repetition and selection. So if there's anyone who does not know how to differentiate between repetition and selection, watch, I think, 2 weeks back recording. Anyways, so here you can see we're repeating only if the condition is giving us yes. So I'm going to use a while loop here. So I'll be like while count is less than 5, do enter in. So you can enter in or you can input in, anything is fine. Count equals count plus 1. That was all right as it is. Count equals count plus 1. If n mod 2 equals 0. Okay, look at the second structure and tell me, is the second structure selection structure or repetition structure? Correct. That's a selection structure because if you take one fellow going in the no direction, other fellow going in the yes direction, again, they will meet. So I said if they meet, it's selection. So if n mod 2 equals 0, then sum equals sum plus n. end if, end while, print sum, end. So this is how your flow chart should be. In the flow chart, you get the marks as so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 marks. I'll give you 6 marks. I'll give you for this part, this whole part, I'll give you 2 marks. For this part, meaning for mentioning the part, the while loop. For using the while loop without anything else. We use mentioning while count is less than 5 without mentioning if for something else. For mentioning while, for that I'll give you another 2 marks. And wait, I had to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 marks. I can break another 2 marks. I can give you. For beginner, I'll give you half marks. For end, I'll give you half marks. For these two, I'll give you half marks. For this, I'll give you half marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Put the marks like this. For using the while loop here and inside the while loop mentioning enter in count equals count plus 1, for that whole thing 2 marks. For using if condition inside the while loop, you get another 2 marks. Can I put print sum before end if? Can't. How can I put before end if, man? Print sum is coming after the while loop finishes. No? See, only when the condition give you false, print sum comes. Instead of while, I wrote if. Then you don't get these 2 marks. Sometimes your exams they'll give you 0 marks if you don't like that. Why is there no begin before the if condition? Why do you need begin before the if condition? These are not Pascal, this is pseudocode. Okay, so those who have any questions, let me know in the chat. Others put the marks. Last question. If the condition used within the second condition is changed as n mod 2 equals 1, what would be the output? Okay, when you change the condition n mod 2 equals 1, now what are we doing? Are we finding for even number or are we finding for odd numbers? Perfect. When you change that n mod 2 equals 0 to n mod 2 equals 1, now we will start finding the odd numbers. Okay, we are going to start finding the sum of odd numbers. So if you go through these values from 5, 8, 13, 20, 22, and 2, if you start adding the odd numbers, the answer is going to be 5 plus 13. That's going to be 18. So our last question's answer is going to be 18. So without write down anything, directly you can, if you know the logic, if you know the purpose of the program is to find the sum of even numbers earlier, and if we change that n mod 2 equals to n mod 2 equals 1, now we are going to find the sum of odd numbers. So what are the odd numbers here? 5 is one odd number, 13 is another odd number, 5 plus 13 is 18. So answer is 18. You wrote 18 there, mark it correct, put 1 mark there. Okay, all of you let me know out of 10 marks how many marks you got. Those who have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. In exam, how many marks will be getting for writing the pseudocode? Depends on how the marking scheme. Certain marking scheme they'll break like how I broke it. So it depends on who's making the paper. But I feel like this is a fair way of breaking the marks. Sometimes these 2 marks will be broken to like half marks, half marks, half marks, half marks. Like the 2 marks I broke there. For the first line they might give half marks. For end time they might give half marks. Count equals count plus 1 half marks. That. So it depends on the program zero. Perfect. Do we get to write a Pascal? Very rarely. I have not seen a Pascal question. In O level, is it compulsory to write pseudocode algorithm in capital letters? Blah blah blah. No, no, no. If your school they said like that, then just take a O-level pass paper and show up at the school and ask them how can if the O-level paper itself has given capital, then so if the O-level paper itself has given simple, then why should we use capital? There is nothing like that. Simple capital here, there's nothing. Can you also use repeat and loop instead of while loop? You can use repeat and loop as well, but then the some values has to change. So the condition can't be count less than five. If you're using repeat and loop, the condition will be is count repeat until count is greater than until count is equal to five. Yeah, it will be until count is equal to five. So the whole program will change. You can't maintain the same consistency. He just says go with what the school says. Yeah. I don't tell you go with what school says. I will really go and argue with school. Because at the end of the day, those are all just bullshit stuff, man. There's nothing like that. Those are half-cooked knowledge. People use some people they ask for neatness purpose. Now, for example, I ask her to keep this indentation, right? Even this indentation is not compulsory. This gaps which I keep. But the reason I ask her to keep this gap is for neatness of the code. So likewise, some people they might come and write the beginning and end, all the keywords right in capital for neatness purpose. If they tell you neatness purpose, then I'll be like follow the school. But if they be like writing capital is only is correct, simple is wrong, blah blah blah. If they come and give a rule like that, I'll be like that's wrong. Okay, there is no such rules that you will do it for neatness purpose. That's right. Why have you sent the answer in the community? Because I have not written this here. I have done this on annotation, like Zoom annotation. So once I click on clear here, in one click, everything goes boom. It's a picture, not a PDF. That's why. You're not judging the elders. It's there really. It's typically directly they are on this one. What do you call question paper? For example, the first program, this program here, simple. Here also simple. Here also simple. Here also simple. Here also simple. Simple. Here they have used capital. Here they use capital. Here they have used capital. The whole program is capital though. Here whole program here also they use capital. Okay. Here they have used capital. Here it's simple again. Okay, here they have mixture. So it's you can take this as capital. Okay. Here it's capital. Here it's capital. Here it's simple. So the places they use capital is just for neatness purpose. There is no other reasons apart from that. If it's simple or capital, it doesn't affect the program. Yeah, because this pseudocode, it's like, for example, a recipe. If you write a recipe in simple letters or capital letters, does it differentiate how the food is going to taste? What else? Another they'll come and scold me only. So pseudocode is just like a recipe. You give the recipe for a programmer will see the recipe and he'll make a real program. Arab, show that for the next week. I'll do that because now we're done with 7 o'clock now. I have to pray. Okay. Is there anyone who has any questions based on what we learned today? Now we know it now. Okay. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. We're done for the day. If you have any questions, you can stay and ask. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. Next class, will we be meeting on next Tuesday, right? Yes, next Tuesday. Correct. By the way, this week, there is no any theory class. Huh? People who are coming for physical classes, there is no any classes this week. You're welcome. Bye bye. Yes, good night. Enjoy. Remind me the beginning so at the end I can do it. I'll give a small break to pray, then I'll do. I would have done it today. Like I would have told I'll pray and come and explain. But RFI started from Marib, so that's what you call. I'll do it next week. I said no safe. Yes, advance Eid wishes to all of you as well. Who is it, Rifa? Thank you and same to all of you all. Yeah, walaikum salam. Barakallah. Rifa, just WhatsApp me. I think. What do you call clarify that? Okay. Why Rushta? Why? Okay, then I'm going to end the meeting. Walaikum salam. Bye bye. And yeah, advance Eid wishes to all of you.